very first episode of our podcast. And today we have our featured artist of the month for November. We have Black Lotus, and today say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
I'm your host, Robert, and today we're going to talk to Black Lotus. Tell us about who you are, like where you came from, your background.
Yeah, so basically, I'm actually truly like a Chicagoanite or a Chicagoan, whatever you want to call it. But my parents actually met there. They're actually both their families were from Mississippi, and like as a result of the families moving down to Chicago, they met one another. And my parents were married, and they were both singers. My mother was actually a choir singer, and she had studied with a couple of professors down there. My father's lineage was that his grandfather, or his father, I'm sorry, was a musician, and my grandfather played all over Chicago, and every time the big blues acts came, they would call Guitar Red came down, so he played with Muddy Waters, Clear Waters, Memphis Slim, who's also actually another cousin of mine on my mother's dad's side, so lots of blues lineage.
A lot of history in there with music, so that's great. That's
Definitely.
Good. What inspired you beyond that to do the kind of music that you do today?
Well, I guess one reason is that like I see like a big disconnect between actual people and musicians. Because everything is so generated now, and that's fine if you like that kind of thing. I mean, music is everything. I mean, I like some of it certainly, right. But I'm just, because of my background and my family, and then just like me racially, there's just so much stuff there. There's blues and there's all these different things, and what I do is a morph of all of that. And I heard a lot of music, lots of different music as a kid. So I wasn't just listening to one genre. So as a kid, I would listen to pieces of things, and I understood what I liked and what I thought would sound good together, even to where I was singing parts of one songs and doing some of the other ones when I was a kid, because I was like, ooh, it's so fun to mix.
Right. Yeah, and
it's been a work in progress.
Yeah, music to me has always been my go-to for anything. Personally, music, I don't know what it is, but my favorite instrument has always been the bass. I love the sound of the bass. It's just something about it. It's so relaxing and smooth. Like you could just zone out to it for hours.
Oh man. Yeah.
So I haven't listened to a lot of like blues or anything growing up. I do love the sound of it. For you, what artist was the biggest influence?
Well, I mean, I wasn't really I can't sit here and tell you that as a young kid I loved to listen to Robert Johnson, because Robert Johnson came from a very stark area. It was really just the guitar only. And, of course, getting older, I kind of had to form and develop an understanding for why that music was, for the people that were doing it. But I'd have to say, I think what I really like as far as blues artists, I like the artists who can come on the scene, maybe take somebody else's stuff, maybe write some of their stuff, and totally, completely make it their own. Because to me, that's their interpretation of what an artist, how it got to them.
It's kind of their vision.
It's their vision of what they saw for their song. And to me, there's no bigger compliment when you do somebody else's song, but you completely change the environment, and you completely change the format on how that song goes, because then you're giving it more life. It's like you're giving it new life, It's almost like a forest that burns down, and then like stuff starts growing, and you see the little green after a while. I think that's what we can do for those, artists that lived a long time ago, because we can bring them back to life.
Right, keep them alive and part of the song. Yeah, I gotcha. All right, and then the name Black Lotus, where did that come from? How did that originate? Is that something that somebody called you one day? Is it just came to you?
It's kind of interesting because, when you're going through, like, what am I going to call myself? People will give you really good ideas. You'll have really cool ideas. But I think for me, Black Lotus was either like, I was somewhere, I can't even really tell you where, but it was kind of almost like a feeling of like metamorphosis with the cocoon and the whole, when we talk about a butterfly, that metamorphosis is what I'm talking about. But with a lotus flower, it's completely different, and if you look up what a lotus is, it's very moisturizing. If you use its essence, it doesn't. Some of them, like I guess, you know, if you like the lotus flower in particular is like strength. It's growing out of the mud and totally taking a life of its own. And when we live in a society of so much culture vulturing, you know, it's nice to be able to bring, you know, birth to something that's actually exclusive and from the mud and from the journey and from all the scaling and all of these different things.
Kind of like a diamond in the rough.
Kind of like a diamond in the rough. So I think to me, I mean, I call myself Black Lotus because I feel like I'm one of those artists who basically can just kind of look at everything and be like, it's great to be like you, but it's even better to be like me. The individual.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Being yourself.
Being yourself, yeah.
That's always my whole thing with everybody. Be yourself. Don't take on the form of somebody else. Don't just follow people because they're got a name. So be you.
Right, you know, I mean, and you know, it's sometimes, you know, kind of like a promise or God. It takes a little bit longer to keep those promises to ourselves, to our crafts, you know, with everything. And in the middle of that, you're constantly changing. So, I just kind of feel like, you know, what you were saying with being yourself and stuff, no one can tell you what that is.
Right.
No one can tell you what that is. Yeah.
Only you can figure that out. And then, so, if you had to choose a specific genre of music, like just one kind, like for me, I really love metal. I don't know what it is, it just speaks to me. I don't know if it's just the lyrics behind it or if it's the aggressiveness. I love metal, and I'm pretty sure I'm going deaf in my left ear because I listen to music on high volume all the time. But if you had to choose one genre of music to listen to, what would it be?
Oh, let's see.
Just one. Trapped on an island.
I can't throw easy listening in there anywhere. I'm just kidding. No. Manilow is all its own. No, he's pretty cool too, though. I do like Barry. I mean, he's good for things. But when let's see, that's kind of a hard decision, especially with someone like me that, like, because I like metal too. In fact, there's this cartoon, I don't know if you've seen it, Akiyashi something world. It's on Netflix, and it's about this cat that sings death metal. Have you seen that show?
Seen that.
Okay, yeah. I love that show.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. Oh my goodness. You know how the Sanrio people put that out, the same people who do Hello Kitty, that's their show. Amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, so, I would have to say jazz because it has so many dynamics. You know, it has a long history, and jazz can be anything. It can sometimes turn into R&B, but because of a lot of the quick work that the drummers and the bass and the percussionists and people do, it could be changed up. It's kind of terrible because I love Brazilian music too, so it's kind of a toss-up between those two, but probably jazz. I'm just going to say, you know, that's probably jazz. Yeah.
Hey, I wouldn't. You couldn't choose. What's the word I'm looking for here? I'm just like stuck in my own thoughts. But I get it. You know, jazz. My aunt, she listened to a lot of jazz and gospel music.
Okay,
so every Sunday we'd be cleaning the house. That's what I hear all day.
Oh my goodness.
Like her just jamming out, singing.
That must have been fun.
Oh yeah, no, definitely cleaning her like 300, you know, unicorn knickknacks. It's fantastic.
Right. At least she wasn't a clown person. You know, unicorns are a little better. But when they collect clowns, it's a little more weirder.
Couldn't do clowns. No. So outside of music, what other things are you into, like hobbies, arts, movies?
Yeah. Well,
tell the world about you.
Oh, okay. So movies are definitely really cool. The cornier, the more B film, the more cheesier, the better. I do like a really good foreign film. Those are awesome too.
Foreign films are great.
Yeah,
Train to Busan, anybody?
Yeah, right.
Great zombie movie.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna check that one out. So there's that, and I also basically like to I like to create music. Of course, that's what I do, but I like to do that too. I really like kung fu. I like kung fu movies too.
Oh, I love the classics.
Yeah, so I'm kind of a kung fu person, And
Five Deadly Venoms, my all-time favorite.
oh, yeah, that's a good one. That was not good one.
Centipede style for the winning.
I like the Guillotine Master, the dude that takes his thing off and just throws and cuts people's crap off.
That's a good one. That's a classic.
That was a classic.
They added that to Netflix not that long ago.
Oh, they did. Oh,
also,
man.
we're not promoting Netflix.
Okay, yes, we're not. All right, okay. So, we watched that show somewhere, just not there. You saw nothing. Okay. Right. So, okay, so there, I do love to sit on my butt and watch Kung Fu films. I like to work out, although currently I've been just so tired with trying to find someone to do. There's a project that my friends Warren and Darren, had helped me with Shiny Doll, and I've actually been looking to kind of put a budget behind that, and I actually think I found a pretty good house that can actually handle that actually really cares, and they seem to be very passionate about like the same issues that I am. So that's really a good thing, and I think we might actually really do good together. I'm kind of open, actually. I'm looking forward to that. That's actually probably my new favorite thing to do right now is put that together.
Okay, and what is that exactly?
It's the song. The name of the song is called "Shiny Doll," and I kind of had the premonition of this girl in this war-torn country, and the premonition is like an answering call between heaven, like this angel that's hearing this little girl go through these things, and they're like both going through the same thing, kind of empathically, and it's kind of cool, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a good story behind that.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. That sounds like it's going to be really good. So we've covered a lot. I know a lot of people are really interested in hearing you sing. So how about we have you prove your talent to the world for us?
All right, let's prove it. I'm Black Lotus, and we're going to do a cover by Depeche Mode originally, who did the song, and Johnny Cash also covered it. It's called Personal Jesus. And with me is...
Hey, I'm Darren Walker, and hello, everybody.
Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there. Feeling unknown and you're all alone. Passion blown by the telephone. Lift up the receiver, you know I'm a believer. Take second best, put me to the test. Things on your chest, you gotta express. I will deliver, you know I'm a forgiver. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to feel your presence, someone who can. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there. Feeling, reach out and touch me. Reach out and touch me. Your own personal Jesus. Someone